Good morning everyone, it's Leslie in Bangor and I thought I'd do a piece for you, a seascape with manipulated foliage and things from the garage that's left over. Now first of all I've placed here a piece of wood, and these are dried aspidistra, quite old as you can see, and they're already manipulated and gives the effect of the waves. The oasis I've cut through the lettering, that gives you a deeper piece but doesn't fill up the whole tray. Gives you a room for water, a reservoir. Now I love doing the pans, and each one comes out a different shape, and that's all due to the tension that you put on as you're plaiting them. So I'm just placing one in there. You can see this one is totally different shape, again much tighter, that's the tension. Placing them in, I'll turn this around in a minute for you. Different shape again. Going into this part of the oasis, and then show you a smaller one again. So each leaf comes out totally different. I'll just turn that round so you can see the effects of the sea, the waves. You'll notice I have NAFA's books down here. They have a great selection for teaching you how to do leaf manipulation. I've been doing these for quite some time, but I've learnt more from the NAFA's books. Now here is my acapanthus, the dried seed heads. I'm putting them in because they make me think, oh, I'm going to put in this piece of wool for you first. This is a product of Leonard wool, and they've got this new one out, has like a fringe on the edge of it, and all I've done is grabbed it together with a piece of wire. One side is pink and the other side's quite mottled, so I'm going to use that side, and that makes me think of the sea fern, and just placing it in here with a little bit of wire through into the oasis. Now I am using the wet oasis because so it gives me the option of putting in some fresh plant material, but of course if most of your materials are dried, then you can use the dry oasis. Just cutting the stem there. Holding my arrangement to one side as I place my materials in, that's to support it. And I have two more for the front. These I've given just a little whoosh of gold. And these make me think of the sea. And it's really getting the most out of your plant material. So just turn that around for you. Now I have some more aspidistras dried, and these I have given just a little whoosh of colour to, and you know all flower arrangers love to do that, and I'm placing them into the front, again representing the waves, and that's disguising my mechanics. You will hear them crinkle because they're dry, and of course they only last so long at this stage. If you really want, you can do them in glycerine, and that keeps them nice and soft. These have just been air dried. So I'll turn that round. You see already how we've got something for very, very little. Now with the lemon wool, there's another one. It comes in a skein like this. And this, ladies, is using your imagination. There's a little red bit in the middle. It made me think of like the eye and little sea creatures. So all I've done is I've done blue wire around here rather than pink, because it makes me think of the sheen on the flesh of the fish. So I'm putting these in. This is plain, ladies, having fun. So we need it this time. So in good flower arranging fashion, I'm going with 3 of these. Just deciding where all my wee creatures want to come. That little hole in there, that would be too obvious, I think. So. That's 2 in. I'm going to put 1 in round the back for a little bit of interest. And you always should step back and look at your arrangement and check everything's just where you'd want it. Because it's so easy when you're working on top of it, as you would know. You have to decide you really like what you've done. Now another piece of manipulation are the phormium leaves plaited into a rose shape. This one again I've given a little bit of colour, this one I've left plain. And if you listen how firm they are. So putting one of these in here, give me a stronger form. And I'll place one here to the back. Just putting that in to take your eye through the arrangement. Not everything should necessarily go in the same direction. Remember, like in your garden, see, things are moving. Now for a little bit of fresh plant material. Got a nice piece of heather here. Going to put it in at this end, just to bring the colour through. There's a lot of pink in the sea. And that just takes the colour, your eye through from this side to this on the pink, and the whoosh on the materials, and plant material, dried material, and our little sea creatures. Another thing I've learned in about maybe 6 or 8 weeks ago, another plaiting that we were doing in NAFIS demonstrations, and this is how it turns out, and it makes me think of something under the sea. I did this one with the green gutted tape because I had no brown, so actually I thought it was even better to use the stem of the agapantha. I pushed it in and that disguises it. So I'm just going to put a couple of these in as more little sea urchins. Give a little bit of interest over to this side. And of course you can lay them down on your board. I'm going to leave mine on my turntable. I'm just doing a little grouping here of 3. And of course when they're dry, these you can just be resting them in with your plant material. So yes, I'm just leaving that little grip there. Another thing I had in the garage was the Gypsophilia gypsophila, and this makes me think of the spray on the waves. I'm just going to add it in here in the odd place. So you see what you can do with all your leftovers, or certainly this plaited material. When these dry, these are about 5 years old, these waves, plaited pans waves. That's just another little texture in, giving the feeling of the sea. And something else that would make me think of the sea would be the sedum heads, the dried sedum. So I'm just going to put a couple of them in too. Again, ladies, this is something for absolutely nothing. Putting another one coming out the back to give visual balance. Got a third one, just deciding where I'm going to go with it. Leave it there. Turn that round for you. Now what I'm going to add at this point in time, I do have other plant material here. Before I put the stones out for the sea, I have a little few leaves of the heuchera, which on the reverse side is the lovely pink, and the front side you see the mottled and the veins. I might try a couple of them in here, just to give you some fresh plant material. Oh, I like that. It's bringing the pink out. turn that round, you can see two there. I just see a little piece of races at this side. I'm going to put one in here. Just put that one in that side to cover up the end of the races there, so we don't want to see that. And really, I don't think I want to add an awful lot more than that. I'm just going to add some stones now to represent the lovely green that's from under the sea. And actually these would be much easier to clean up than sand, which would make quite a mess on the table here. So again, taking it round, I'll put some at the back because this arrangement can sit in the middle of your table. And when it's viewed all round, it's important, if it was in a competition, that your judge would be seeing a nice presentation from the back as well as the front. I'm just going to add a couple of shells. That's the side. And just a few shells. Not the strong white ones, because I want them to not stand out. Just I did fancy taking a hammer to these and crushing them to give more like the shingle effect, but decided not to. And when you're casing anything in, you want to push it in and recess it. You don't want it away out in your face. So just putting. So ladies and gents, I hope there's a Seascape arrangement, comes absolutely free, made from all the bits you'd have had in your garden shed, especially for flower arrangers. So don't throw anything out, and I would ask you, do have a go at trying the leaf manipulation. It's great fun, can be very relaxing, or if you have bother with it then obviously frustrating. So thank you very much, stay safe and enjoy your flower arranging. Thank you.